Sit down, eat dinner, mate. You having a good morning? He came and saw us first thing. Good to see him. How you doing, guys? Very good to see you. You all look prepared for it. You all look ready for it. Love to see that. Good to see you guys. And that was yours. Just to briefly pass it out into the centre of the arena here, where you can inevitably see the Bolddog FMX landing system. This landing system happens to be the best, the most sophisticated, and the most expensive mobile freestyle landing system in the world. So we are very privileged to be here today, riding in front of you lovely people. Now the gap has been set at 21 metres. That's 21 metres from the point of takeoff there, all the way to the end of the top curve that makes up that Bolddog FMX landing system. With a smidgen of luck, we should indeed project us around about 35 to 40 feet up in the air, or up in the air. We attempt to do an array of tricks. These tricks, they happen to be called the sport of freestyle motocross. So as I go to my final pre-flight section, turn the turbo turned off, the fuel is already on these new machines, as they are indeed fuel injectors. There are some little ones out there, and those of you with sensitive ears, just to cover them up for a second as I clear my bike out to ensure it's running well. Sounds pretty good. So without further ado, without the aid of a speeder, with no stop on the throttle, the plan is to get myself from that little takeoff ramp, hopefully land point B, being the Bolddog FMX landing system. The first one of every show, always the worst one for us. As I say, really no speedos on these machines, no stops on the throttle. It's all about the back of the machine. Fingers crossed. We're feeling good out here this very fine morning here at Henham City Rally. So quick check of the window screen, because it does seem to switch around here a little bit at Henham. I'll make my way in a little bit. We go up nice and high. Just using that 27-degree landing system to bring me in nice and smoothly. Now the IMB at the start here this morning for your viewing pleasure as we use these first warm-up jumps just to reacclimatise, refamiliarise ourselves with the ramp, with the equipment, and we can move forward into a little bit of FMX for you guys. A pretty good setup other than the wind going across the landing system. It's a nemesis for us. The wind switched around like that makes things a little bit tricky. We always like to get the wind predominantly behind us, but every time we start our machines up, it's been the case this year where the wind just moves around on us. So we will use those instrumental flags throughout the performance to give us an indication of what the wind is indeed doing. First thing feeling pretty good, nicely warmed up. We'll just get the other two gentlemen up and over, making sure they're happy, they're comfortable to proceed out here. And then we can move forward. A little bit of FMX down, looking very good out here this morning. So it is now with pleasure that I get to introduce you to the riders, letting you know who you might be cheering and who you might be making a smidgen of noise for. So all the way from the dizzy heights of Durham in Norfolk, please join with me and make some noise for the one and only Mr. Aaron. Let's see what Aaron's got as he makes his way in for a second or two. Now the throttle jumps off, big heart attack there, reaching for his grab hold, extending the body out into the heart attack position. So as he joins me back here on terra firma, please once again give it up for Aaron Powley. Cheeky little dropping there. So as we go from one of the best riders in the country over to the UK's youngest, please join with me and make some noise for the one and only Mr. Jack Burton. 17 years of age, guys. That family planting in as the youngest professional freestyle motocross rider in the country, but this young man has loads of riding skills behind him. Nice little heel clicker, brings the legs around the handlebars, flicks the heel in the air. As I said, Jack has been performing in live shows up and down the country alongside his mother as part of the Solent Stars, and no less than maybe about 6 weeks ago Jack made the transition over from the Solent Stars over to us Bolddog FMX, checking his eye in, having a little look at freestyle motocross, taking to it very nicely out here today with a nice little no-hander. So please, as he joins me back here on the floor, please give it up and make some noise for Jack Burton! Makes me feel so old, makes me feel such a old. So, we here at Boulder, we like to share the load. So now with a little bit of luck, I'll hand the mic over to the very capable Mr. Aaron Powley. Aaron, it's over to you.
Thank you, Daniel. Well, guys, you've just been introduced to the youngest member of our team. I'm now going to do my best to introduce you to the oldest member of our team. His name is Daniel Whitby. He is the Bolldog FMX team manager, and he is 40 years of age. And that makes him one of the oldest freestyle riders left in this country. But do not let that fool you, because he does have just about every hardest trick and most technical trick in the book, as he demonstrates for you guys right there. His experience actually showed through there. You might notice he had to give it a handful of throttle as he left the ramp there. That was to correct the angle of the bike that was flying. But his experience showed through. He managed to correct the bike and still bust out a massive one-hand executioner for you guys. Now that's a very technical trick in freestyle motocross. Not usually a trick you should be doing for your first trick of the show before you're nice and warmed up. But he has been a professional FMX rider for around 18, maybe even 19 years now. So as you can imagine, he has experienced just about every tricky condition you can think of. Now, believe it or not, he does actually have a radio mic inside of his helmet, and it is actually him talking you through most of our shows. So ladies and gentlemen, now he comes rolling back over. Please make some noise for Daniel Whitby! Well, that is us nicely warmed up, and you've been introduced to the riders. It's now my responsibility to introduce you lovely guys to the sport of freestyle motocross. Now that would indeed entail me doing a smidgen of the old multitasking, as I do try and talk to you guys while I'm flying through the air. Now the lovely ladies out there, you can be the judge of how well we succeed at this. And gentlemen, should I succeed to any degree, I am very, very sorry. But this is our introduction to MFX. Now we would always hit this down in second gear, so my first job is to make sure my machine is firmly selected into second, of which it is now. Then we'll start things off with the simpler tricks and we'll ramp it up to the more technical stuff. Right, here we go then. Little check to see if the wind is still doesn't look too bad. Take it away in. Little bit, have a run beside the bike. They call that one the air walk or catwalk, if you will. We're going to start the feet up first. Tidy little heel clicker, we saw that earlier on. Bring the legs around, clicking the heels in the air into what we call the heel clicker. Here comes down, nice double cam heel clicker as he combines both what you saw from Jack and myself. Now this time round, I'm going to go for the grab hold, that little hole beneath my seat. Look out for it. We're going to reach back for it. Little bit on here. Wind the power on, jump off the machine, open the legs up into what they call a seat grab in the air. Utilise that grab. Here comes Jack with a nice double cam, moves his legs over to the left hand side of the motorcycle into the double cam position. Now Aaron's underway, under power, that's the full. Goes for a big look back heart attack. He pushes through with his body and then has a cheeky look back into the look back heart attack position. Now I'm going to take the grab one step further as I attempt to hold on to my machine with just the one hand. Wind doesn't look great for it, but we'll give it a go. Here we go, on the way in. Little lift. Round the power on the right hand goes back, grab the hold of the heel into that one-handed grab. Or an executioner, if you will. Jack goes Indy, opening up the legs as he goes for the double cam. Let's see what Aaron's got. He makes his way to him. Nice cliffhanger. The one trick you shouldn't be doing in the wind is a cliffhanger, but Aaron obviously feeling it out here today. As I lean on you guys, because what is the one trick that we haven't seen so far? Who can help me out? That gentleman was on it very, very fast. I like that, like that. The gentleman over there is doing this manoeuvre to me. This means but one thing. That to me means a backflip. But how are you guys feeling out there? Would you like to see a backflip? Yeah. Look what you've done to me, sir. Look what you've done and done. Well, I will endeavour to show you guys a backflip. I'll try and talk you through it as well as we start things off by getting second gear, range of oxygen, some deep breath up into the brain. Full concentration required here. Wind looks pretty good. Here we go then, we make our in. Little bit. Wind the power, a little pull up the lip there. What's about to do the full 360 degree backward rotation. Have my foot in fully the wind position there, the left, the ramp. That goes for a nice little whip there, keeps his bike out. Let's see what Aaron's got as he makes his way in. I think upside down as well, in the wind, flags going across the landing. I'm going to finish up with one of my favourite tricks here. Typically as the wind goes a little bit wild for us. This is called an executioner. Having the opposite heel that time round, giving us an opposite Indy. Let's see what the boys have got to finish up our intro. Huge Superman there from Jack, a newly learned manoeuvre from Mr. Burton. Here comes down, let's see what he's got. Jack the throttle. Big motor whip. I'm going to ask the question, Henham, are you having a bit of fun with us out here this afternoon? Well, I can't deny, we certainly are enjoying performing for you guys, but the time has now come for us to give you a little bit more. And often I feel the best way to do so is with a bit of healthy competition. So, Title one. I'm feeling a bit of a comp up here today, but how are you lovely? Let's see what young Jack has got. As I said, he is very, very new to the sport of freestyle motocross, but you will see his jumping capability is spot on as he goes through a huge Superman going very deep on the land. Every inch. He scared himself and me that time around, ironically enough, just as I say how dialed in his jumping capability is. Come on, get behind him, make some noise for him. Holding on with every inch of strength there from young Jack, because this doesn't always go to plan. This is indeed a live show. We're out here performing live. Let's see, he's got possession to the wicked world. He goes for that play around. That's a little bit more like it. You wouldn't usually see that. You get it wrong, and how big is that of Jack? Credit to him for throwing out there a second time round, but getting it dialed in that time round. So with that said, please give it up and make some noise for Jack Martin! I almost want to ask you, what went wrong, Jack? What went wrong? Oh, he said he literally just couldn't get his feet back to the machine, nevertheless surviving to tell the tale. As we switch things over to not only the best rider out here today, he is indeed the best rider in the country. So with that said, please make some noise for Aaron Powley! Now, I do feel sorry for Aaron. I just had a quick look at our flags there aboard the landing system. They look good right now. They were going directly across the landing system. Never a good thing if you are indeed a freestyle motocross rider, because you know what, this motorcycle, it acts as a little bit of a sail. Although it weighs 160 kilograms, it will move in the wind. So the wind travels nicely over our bodies, but it gets held up on the bike and it twists it. And as you can imagine, when you've let go of that machine flying through the air and it's not where you left it when you go back to it, it's a little bit worrying. It doesn't always go to plan. So you will sympathise with Aaron right now, because what he's doing, he's waiting for the right moment, because he has indeed put his flip levers up, these interesting wing mirror style looking things on the front of the motorcycle. He's flipped them up. That to me means but one thing. That means he's going to try and combine a backflip with a trick. And I'm sure you can appreciate you kind of want the conditions to roughly be in line for that. So with that said, it looks like Aaron's going for his next way in. Yes, he's upside down. He's a backflip. And not just a backflip, he brings the legs around, he clicks his heels way upside down, calling that one the heel flicker backflip. But he has yet another chance, another opportunity, and it looks like the flip levers are remaining up. So he's going to try and do something yet again upside down. I don't really feel it for him right now, because the wind really is against him. He keeps moving around. He did have a short window there where it was momentarily in line, but it does, from my angle, I could be wrong here, it does look like it's going a little bit diagonally across the landing system, and as I said, that will move the bike away from him. So when you're upside down, you're hanging underneath it, or you're indeed in front of it. Aaron's going for it anyway. Yeah, not getting what he was looking for. He was looking for a Superman backflip, but nevertheless, busting out a backflip. So I'm going to make some noise for him. Feel free to make some noise for Aaron Powley! Now, I'll tell you what really happened there. Aaron just got sick of the sound of my voice, so he just got on with it, so you guys didn't have to put up with me talking that much longer. So with that said, I will hand the reins of the show, the mic back over to Aaron Powley. Aaron, it's over to you.
Thank you, Daniel. Well, guys, apologies for that second one. I was hoping to bust out a super flip indie for you guys, but the wind was just not playing ball, and that's not a trick you can risk pushing when you have a very inconsistent crosswind. So I had to just play it safe, managed to get the heel flicker backflip off, followed up by just a tidy straight backflip. But we have one rider left to go. Now this man right here, Mr. Daniel Whitby, he has some of the hardest, most technical tricks in freestyle motocross, and they are tricks you should not be doing when you have inconsistent crosswinds like we have out here today. Now, as you can imagine, our bikes essentially just act like a kite when you're in the air. So if you let go of that machine while you're in the air, it only takes the smallest gusts of wind to move that bike out of line, so you cannot get back on it. Which, as you can tell, probably doesn't end very well when you hit the floor from that sort of height. But hopefully this wind will cooperate a little bit more, and we can see Mr. Whitby bust out some big sends for you guys. Now, he does have some pretty technical upside down tricks, as well as some of the hardest, most technical upright tricks. Some tricks where he even completely lets go of that machine. So hopefully this wind will play ball, and he will be able to get some of these busted out for you guys. It's still not looking very great, I'm not going to lie, but hopefully it's starting off a bit as he's coming in. Let's see what he's got for jump number one. Ooh, tidy. That is one trick that is very difficult to do in inconsistent wind. That one is called the one-hand Indian air. Literally just holding onto that seat with his fingertips, reaching back with his right arm and then kicking his leg into the Indian air position. Now, as you can imagine, it only takes the smallest gust of wind to twist that bike to the point where you struggle to get back on. So let's see what he's got. Oh my goodness. Now, there is one trick you should not be doing when the flags are blowing across the truck like that. It is that one right there. That is sort of rock solid. One of the, if not the hardest trick in freestyle motocross. Completely letting go of that machine and literally just catching it with his fingertips. I do not know what he was thinking sending that one out here today in this wind, but ladies and gentlemen, he is back, he is in one piece, so please make some noise for Daniel Whitby! Oh, I'm so sorry guys, wasn't the best performance, but trying to get something a little bit special done for you guys. We try and work out a legitimate winner. It's going to be competition number one, day one here at the absolutely awesome Henham Rally 2024. Is it going to be Aaron Jack or myself? Wrong, right, here we go. I should also mention after the show we will be back at our interactive stand if anybody wants to come and grab yourself a t-shirt, poster or indeed a cap. We just want to come and say hi. We'd love to see you. Why? Just why is it good? This has been our life story this year. Every arena we get to, we get a lovely big arena. We set the equipment up, and then you know what? The wind just changes. Every single show. I don't know what it is. I don't know what I've done so wrong to deserve this. But as you can see right now, that wind is howling. Nearly not quite 90 degrees of landing, but definitely at a good solid 45, if not a little bit more. The boys, all you've got to do is turn around and look at their faces, and they don't look inspired to jump. And being the leader, I don't want to drag them over because I guess, you know, kind of, sense hasn't always been my best attribute. What do you want to do? Just turn this and work? Aaron's not really sure. Let's have a go, shall we? We're going to try and finish things up here. We'll make our way in. Here we go. 1, 2. And a coffee whip there for now. What do you guys think? Can we campaign? Can we go for one more? Should better say 4 and 3 times. Let's go for one more, shall we? Why not? Tempt a little bit of fate out here. Be show number 1 in the books for us. Bolddog FMX. We will be back on again at 4 o'clock this afternoon. So many cool things to see here. Here we go then. 1, 2, and 3. I think Aaron even got a super flip in as well. So there you have it, guys. We have indeed been Bolddog FMX. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for coming out and checking out our first show. As I said, we will be back on again at 4 o'clock this afternoon. In the meantime, if you do want to come and see us,